Testing, testing. Okay. Best as can be. I was thinking, and then I said no, but I was thinking of, do you know this season usually, like on this Friday, we would do dear who, maybe Adon Olam Asher Malach. Try to pull that off. See if we can do it. Let me get through my lists here. God bless. Being checked in on twice weekly, along with about 65 of our members who are in that grouping. The Hesed Caring Committee is doing a fantastic job. Which is not to say that everyone is home and happy, but we're all doing the best we can. Okay, so this was, do you want a copy of the cue sheet? Same as last week. Yeah, good. Thank you. Okay.
I figured it would be when last week it said.
Yeah.
Something like going forward.
Yeah, I mean, we'll make some changes, but. God bless, I hope it's the case.
That would be amazing. I wouldn't mind scrambling to do all the things that I have to do. It would be preferable to this.
Excellent. Okay.
Are we doing festival morning services?
No, not first day, seventh day. So that's Ayelet and Rabbi Sonia Pills are going to do something via Zoom first morning. I apologize. I should have better looped you in.
No, I just noticed it in my calendar because I was
so the following week, we have seventh night on Tuesday night, and we have seventh morning, I believe, on Wednesday morning.
Yeah, that's what it said.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And I'll pull out cues for that and forward that to you.
Okay. I have festival binders. It's probably...
Yeah, I may not be able to pull off everything that's in the Yisker. In fact, the cantor is going to do at noon. She usually has on Wednesday, she has a music thing she does online for us. She's going to do a half-hour Zoom Yisker, just Yisker, for people who want to do Yisker via Zoom.
Nice.
Yeah. So, because this is a very one-way type of thing. is our senior custodian. He comes in, he changes the candles, he changes out the Kiddush cup, checks that everything's in order. Yeah, the building actually still gets some there are, believe it or not, inspections still that go on. Hard to believe. I don't have an objection, but what you need to do, I'll forward it to you after Shabbat, is let Eric and Sue and Rebecca, who's the office manager, know, so that no one is surprised. Right?
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Which is why I'm asking and not doing.
Right. No, I don't see why not, but I'll say after Shabbat, I'll send around an email.
Space.
Yeah, I get it, of course. Okay.
Is the live stream on?
It's been on for a bit. Yeah, it has to go on early, so we get picked up. Yeah, Rebecca just sent me a text saying she can hear and see us.
Great.
2 minutes, 1.5 minutes, something like that. Okay. 1 more minute. Okay. Shabbat Shalom. We are gathered not physically but virtually here in the sanctuary of the Brooklyn Heights Synagogue at this unique and difficult season in our history. But we are gathered and we are connecting. I know that there are those beyond our live stream technology, which we are so thankful for, who are actually connecting on phones and Facebook and in a myriad of ways that, frankly, I can't even imagine. But it's a wonderful thing to know that that web of connection is bringing us together, and in the dissonance of what we would call the work week, the irregularity now of those 6 days, we have an opportunity to reestablish something close to normal in Shabbat. So I welcome you into the sanctuary, and I thank you for joining with us. And I urge you to take that very deep breath in and release. There's so much pent up within us, I know within me, during this week that sometimes even in the limitation of our physical space, we are running around and we hit this demarcation of Shabbat full force, full speed. Miriam Daly and I want to invite you to try to adjust the rhythm of your breath and being to simply being. Be present with us and with one another, to invite the possibility of Shabbat entering into your life, our lives. I'm again this week going to be calling out probably too many page numbers. I'm going to be referencing pages in Mishkan Tefillah for Shabbat, the hardcover prayer book, which I do know a few people have. I've been told that those page numbers are not particularly useful for many who are working from the PDF. The PDF has no page numbers. We will try to create a version that does, but all you really need to do if you're using the PDF, which you can find the link to on the website, the PDF for Friday evening Shabbat worship, is you just scroll down to the next page if I'm calling out a new page number. And if it gets all too confusing, then stop with the pages and simply be present with us. I think for many of us, the prayers are familiar enough. We are going to kindle Sabbath lights, which you'll find at that very beginning of our worship service. It's on page 2 in the hardcover prayer book. Kindling Sabbath lights is actually the last action of our labors, of our work week, of our endeavors. And so we acknowledge a transition from being creators and kindlers of flame, transformers of the world around us, to the absolute need that we have to step back and breathe, stop, and observe. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner Shabbat. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign over time and space. You hallow us with mitzvot, commanding us to kindle the light of Shabbat. And let me invite everyone to take a moment with those who you may be present with, family. Take a moment to offer a hug or a kiss. If you are socially isolated at this moment, please know that we want to connect with you. I extend the Shabbat hug across the electronics and want you to know that we'd love to connect with you visually and audibly and in all other ways. Assuming Shabbat comes to an end, as it too often does, we will reconnect in the week, the work week that will resume Saturday night and Sunday. But please know we want to connect. We're on page 9 in the hardcover prayer book. That's just the next slide. And I encourage you to read along with me at the top of that page. There are days when we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. And there are days when we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand in wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act as if we cared nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, day of peace. We're going to turn ahead to the words of Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi finds itself inserted penultimately toward the very end, not the end, but just before the Psalm for the Sabbath day. The mystics in northern Israel and the city of Tzfat arranged 6 psalms. We know that as Kabbalat Shabbat now. Those 6 psalms mirroring the 6 days of active creation by the divine. They also set for the 7th day a psalm for the Sabbath day. But separating those 6 and the Sabbath day psalm, we have this beautiful piyut, this compositional hymn, which speaks of Shabbat not merely a sacred time, but embodied, a sacred personage, a beloved, the one who we await their return week after week. Given the world around us, I don't think it's so hard to imagine those we are hoping we will be restored to when we can stop viewing them across screens or speaking with them on phones and actually embrace them. So along with the Sabbath Kala, the bride, groom, queen or king, as we imagine Shabbat, whatever metaphor speaks to us, I want you to think of all of those loved ones who we await that opportunity and we yearn to embrace and have them return to us and we return to them. Lecha Dodi in the hardcover prayer book, that's pages 20 and 21.
Lecha Dodi likrakala ene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrakala ene Shabbat nekabela. Shamor v'zachor v'diborecha ishmi'anu el ha'meyuchad Adonai echad u'shemo echad l'shem u'l'tiferet v'litila lecha Dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lecho v'nelcha ki hi mekor haberacha merosh mikadem nesucha sof maaseh למחשבה תחילה. lecha Dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela. kala ene Shabbat nekabela.
If we're able, we rise and turn to the entryways to our home, hoping Shabbat will enter.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam simcha uvetzola tochem unei am segula boi chala Dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela lecha Dodi likrat kala ene Shabbat nekabela.
Week after week here in the sanctuary, we would take these moments gathered together to greet one another with the word Shabbat Shalom. I want to invite you, if there's someone there at home with you, or if you're connecting through Facebook, an iPhone, the telephone, however you might be connecting, or it's just offering a Shabbat Shalom out into the electronic ether to connect and take a moment and know that there are others in our community who are stretching out and embracing and offering hugs, and glad to see you on this Shabbat. Take a moment. When pilgrims would enter into Jerusalem before Shabbat, they would likely have heard, if not this exact melody, certainly these ancient words from Psalm 92, the Levitical choirs welcoming Shabbat as the sun was setting on Fridays, the same words that we invoke to a modern Israeli tune on page 22 in the hardcover prayer book, or just the next slide.
It's Moshe Leom HaShabbat Tov Leodol Adonai Ulezamer Leshimcha Elyon Ulezamer Leshimcha Elyon. It's Moshe Leom HaShabbat Tov Leodol Adonai Ulezamer
Reader's Kaddish. That's page 26 in the hardcover volume, or the next slide. Throughout the service, I'll invite people to rise or be seated. Please, of course, do what's comfortable and appropriate in your own home. But if you're able and wish, I'll invite us all now to rise for the Reader's Kaddish, page 26.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה, ויעמד יברח חירותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומכון, ובחייך בית ישראל, בגלה בגלה, ובזמן קריב אמרו, אמן. יהי שמי רבה מברך, לעולם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי קודשה ברכו, לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, נמירן בימה, ויאמרו Amen.
The call to worship, the next slide, page 28, Baruch Hu.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach.
Please be seated if you'd like. We are on page 31 at the top, the next slide. We join together. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch at Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim. The next slide, page 32, Ahavat Olam.
Ahavat Olam, Bet Yisrael, Amcha Torah u'mitzvot, u'kim u'mishpatim, otanu lemadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu, b'shokbeinu v'kumenu, nasiach בחוקיך ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו ובהם נגה יומם ולילה, יומם ולילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים, ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
We turn the page or the slide.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever. We turn to the next slide, page 36 in the hardcover booklet, as we join in chanting Ve'ahavta.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם להיות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
We turn our page or move our slide ahead to the next English reading, page 39, as we join together. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe what we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go, it is eternally Egypt, that there is a better place, a promised land, and that the winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there is no way to get from here to there except by joining hands and marching together. The words of Mi Chamocha, page 40, or the very next slide.
מלכותך ראו בניך, חוקי הים לפני משה ומרים, זה אלינו ואמרו, זה אלינו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
You'll find the words of Hashkivenu, very next slide, page 42.
השכיבנו Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amidenu shomreinu lechaim ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'amidenu shomreinu lechaim ushmor tzedleinu uvoyenu lechaim ushalom ve'ata bi'ad olam Ashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. The bottom of the same page or the slide. Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukkot Shalom Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom ve'al Yerushalayim ve'al kol amo ve'al Yerushalayim Shalom Baruch atah Adonai Haporei Sukkot Shalom Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael. Shabbat is a covenantal sign in agreement between the divine creator of the universe and the people of Israel. As we hear from Achad Ha'am, more than the Jewish people has kept Shabbat, has Shabbat truly kept our people. The words of Vishamru from Exodus 31, the very next slide, are page 44. Amru bnei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות השבת לדורותם ברית עולם ונהיו בין בני ישראל אותי לעולם עודי לעולם ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ ושמרו בני וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. We arrive at Tefillah, the standing prayers. It's the next slide, or page 46. It's customary, if we are able, to arise and imagine ourselves first taking 3 steps back, centering ourselves, making ourselves aware of what we are about to enter into, and then 3 steps forward as we imagine, envision ourselves entering into the higher sacred realms. The words of Adonai Sifatai Tiftach. Page 48. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avoteinu V'Imoteinu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzhak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el Hagadol Hagibor Ve'Hanora El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim Ve'Konei HaKol Ve'Zocher Chastei Avod Ve'Imahod U'Mevi Gula Livnei V'nehem Leman Shemo B'Yahava Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Bezrat Sarah. We turn to the next slide. Atah Gibor Leolam Adonai Mechaye HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia Mashiv HaRuach Umorid HaGashem Mechalkel Chaim Bechesed Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim Umatir Asurim Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Micha Mocha Bal Givurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechaye Umatzmiach Yeshua V'nemanat ala Chayot HaKol Baruch atah Adonai Mechaye HaKol. Our next slide. Atah Gibor Leolam. I'm sorry. I just turned ahead. Atah Kadosh V'Shimcha Kadosh U'Kadoshim B'chol Yom Yahalelu Chasela Baruch atah Adonai Ha'el HaKadosh. by custom. If we make an error in prayer, that's fine. It's not performance. So what we do is what I just demonstrated. We go back and we start from the beginning of that unit, which speaks of God's holiness. You're holy, your name is holy, and those who strive for holiness proclaim your name every day. Praised are you, eternal one, the holy God. Let's join together in the English at the top of 55, the next slide in English, for the holiness of this Sabbath day. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise, Baruch atah Adonai, Mikadesh HaShabbat. We're on our next slide at page 57 in the hardcover prayer book. Let's join together. Ever-present one, may we, your people Israel, be worthy in our deeds and our prayer, wherever we live, wherever we seek you, in this land, in Zion restored, in all lands. You are our God, whom alone we serve in reverence. Baruch atah Adonai, shotecha levadecha b'yirah na'avod. Top of page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai hatov shemcha ulechana lehodot. The final prayer of Tefillah, the prayer for peace in the evening, the setting of Shalom Rav on page 60, or the very next slide. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amecha tasim leolam. Ki atah melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atah melech Adon lechol hashalom. Baruch atah Adonai, mevarech et amo Yisrael, b'shalom. We take these moments now for our own silent prayer and meditation. Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom bimromav, Hu yaseh Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Ve'al kol Yisrael amen. Thank you so much to Miriam Daly. Miriam and I enter separately. We keep 20 feet of distance between ourselves and are even very cautious walking around. We check in before, and lots of these things. Of course, we check in with each other, make sure we're both okay, and are up for this earlier in the day. But very grateful that what Miriam allows for our congregation. Thank you so very much. We are blessed to have you and for your willingness, really what I know is your desire to be here, making our prayers come alive. So thank you. Shabbat Shalom. This coming Wednesday evening, as we sit down to Seders, Seder is unlike any that most of us can recall. We will pour a symbolic 5th cup of wine intended for the prophet Elijah. And as always, despite the bizarre innovation of comedian Mark Jaffe and his self-draining cup, it's real, you can see it on YouTube, that 5th cup, Elijah's cup, will properly and appropriately go untouched, unimbibed. Its symbolism representing that the time that Elijah is said to herald has not yet, at least this year, has not yet arrived. Eliyahu Hanavi, Eliyahu Hatishbi, Eliyahu Hagiladi. Elijah the prophet. We talk about him a lot, but he is like that relative or date or business associate who just never shows up. Year after year, we send out our invitation, we pour him a cup, and garnished. Not even an email or a text apologizing for skipping our gathering. As a matter of fact, we've come to count on it. Year after year after year, Elijah is the perpetual, eternal no-show. He's been ghosting us, and there's no doubt he will do it again. And yet we keep on hoping. That is ultimately what this Passover and every Passover is really about. We look back on and we remember our oppression and suffering. We recline at abundant meals as we celebrate our freedom in this moment. But we also recognize that our freedom is incomplete. The final promise of redemption, of liberation, is unrequited. Our Seders are only foretastes of a deeper, richer, truer freedom that humanity yearns for, envisions, but has yet to achieve. And this year, with the COVID-19 virus arriving to remind us just how limited our freedom is. And Elijah, well, truth be told, most of us will not be opening our doors this year, or inviting in strangers who, as the stories would suggest in folk tales, might be Elijah in disguise, or, as my grandfather used to bring home strangers without a Seder to go to from synagogue. No, this year we are practicing social distancing and many more hand washings than the limited 2 prescribed for the Seder. This year's Seder will be a struggle, not simply to find a box of kosher for Passover matzah, but a struggle to focus and taste the sweetness and the hope that Passover should and must evoke. In the midst of our anxiety over the health and well-being of family, friends, and colleagues, we will be assembling around our tables with far smaller gatherings where our own max headrooms are present by technology, but safely at a distance. And for some of us, there will be the reminder of those truly absent, those whom we have lost in these past weeks. Our annual toasts and accolades to the cooks and caterers will transform instead into prayers for health, fortitude, and insight for those literally on the front lines of a plague that has yet to peak. More so than ever before in my lifetime, the Kos Eliyahu, the cup of Elijah, speaks to me, urging me not to give in to despair, reminding me that its sweetness still awaits, and that we must not banish hope, however delayed, from our tables. Historically, Elijah's cup is so named not because it's intended for him to drink like a roving Jewish Santa for whom we would leave out Manischewitz instead of cookies. No. Rather, it is in Elijah's role as the resolver of undecided rabbinic disputes that the 5th cup is poured but left undrunk. This reflects the rabbinic debate on how many promises were made to our ancestors and how many were fulfilled by the Exodus. 5 promises of redemption, it appears, were made, but the events of the Exodus fulfilled only 4 of those promises. 1 promise remains. A promise of redemption for future days, Mashiach Zeit, when all the world, not only the Jewish people, will be redeemed. And Elijah is assigned this role as the herald of that time, the herald of the Messiah, having not died, but rather in the book of Kings, as we read, having ascended alive into heaven in a whirlwind, set upon a fiery chariot, drawn up by blazing steeds. In tomorrow morning's Haftarah for Shabbat Hagadol, Elijah is again invoked, centuries later than the book of Kings texts, in the final verses of the final prophet of the Bible, in the book of Malachi, where it is written, "Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of that great and terrible day of the Eternal. And he, Elijah, will turn the hearts of parents to their children and the hearts of children to their parents, lest I come and smite the land." Thanks to this verse, Elijah is set up as a perpetual harbinger of the possibility of renewal and the herald of hope. In a well-known Talmudic tale, Elijah, himself a master of disguise whenever he's here on earth, informs a despairing Rabbi Joshua ben Levi not to give up hope. Rabbi Joshua asked Elijah, "When will the Messiah come?" And Elijah responds, "Go ask him yourself." Amazed, Rabbi Joshua says, "Where can he be found?" Elijah replies, "At the entrance to the city of Rome, the greatest city of its day." "How will I recognize him?" Rabbi Joshua asks. And Elijah responds, "He is sitting amongst the impoverished lepers. Now all of them are untying their bandages all at once, and then they retie them next all at once. But the Messiah, you will notice, unties and then reties each of his bandages separately, one at a time. For he worries that God may call upon him at any moment, and he must not be delayed to redeem this world." Now, in this tale, Elijah goes on to explain to Rabbi Joshua that the Messiah would come today, Hayom, truly every and any day, if we were sincere in our hope and not simply in our desperation. For me, though, the symbolism of Elijah's cup is to hold out against despair, even as we seem to be residing at the symbolic gates of Rome, amongst the ill and the distraught. There is more than the mere possibility of healing and redemption. There remains hope. Yes, we must continue to wait, and how we all hate waiting. We want redemption now. We want healing now. But there is hope. It is that cup brimming with sweet wine that asks us to wait a little longer, to wait in hope as we gather together and we taste the sweetness of memories, of each other's faces, of gatherings, and hope in the sweetness yet of the future that will come. Ken Yehi Ratzon, Shabbat Shalom. As always, I invite your responses to the words I'm privileged to share. Please send me an email or a text. I won't get to it till after Shabbat, please, but please do. I'm pleased that a number of people have actually done that, and I will try as timely as I can to respond to comments and questions. Shabbat Shalom. We're going to turn to our prayers for healing. And on this Shabbat, you can find that as hopefully the next slide. Debbie Friedman, Aleha Shalom setting of the healing prayer. It's page 253 in our hardcover prayer book. The words Mishaberach Avotenu. And on this Shabbat, we call to mind for healing and blessing, whether something major or minor, Jolie Schwartz, Donald Pearlstein, Paul Diamond, Whitney Buckholtz, John Bernard, Anne-Marie Kromps, Bracha Batsipora, Gloria Sancho, Eileen Balkin, Deborah Newman Salaway, Jenny St. George, Tom Weiser, Rebecca Herder, Yigal Ben Alana, Arthur Rose, Aksan Faruqi, Eliab Ben Label, Vigita Henya, Chava Gittel Bat Freda, Yona Bat Ephraim Yehezkel Miriam, Anita Giordano, Fega Devasha Bat Shendel, Florence Spire, Yona Chaya Bat Miriam, Davida, Ruth Bat Binyamin Vechava, Steve Brown Inns, Yona Tevya Ben Label Vigita Henya, Renee Fishzone, Moshe Ben Leah, Nancy Lazar, Blanche Krakowski, and Delroy Aline. Let me invite you now to take a moment and share aloud, if you wish, the names of loved ones, friends, family, colleagues you're thinking of who are in need of healing, blessing,
uplift, and prayer. Let's just take a minute together to say aloud those names, think them in our hearts.
מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say those of need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon. We're going to turn ahead to prayers for country and then for the state of Israel. And the hardcover prayer book, that's 258 and 259, are just the next slides. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance, and may they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. And let us say, Amen. We join together in the English for the prayer for the state of Israel. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. And let us say, Amen. We turn to our concluding prayers. A special set of prayers that we've been adding in for healing as we struggle through this period of COVID-19. These prayers are not found on the slides or in the prayer book, so I invite you simply to listen and make Amen as you find appropriate. O divine source of wisdom, as we endure this new normal in our lives, we pray earnestly for the heroic medical doctors, nurses, and healthcare professionals who are putting their lives on the line for their neighbors every day. May you give them strength, physical immunity during this time so that they can help push back against this ravaging virus. And we pray for the scientists, disease experts, epidemiologists who are working feverishly on vaccines and testing mechanisms. Oh God, we thank you for gifting them with knowledge and wisdom that we don't have. We pray for their endurance, for breakthroughs, and for resources. And O source of life, grant our public health and government officials the strength and wisdom to act swiftly and decisively, with compassion and understanding in service to humankind, fighting this outbreak and all other diseases that still plague our planet, diseases threatening the lives of our brothers and sisters, nations and communities, young and old. Rock of ages, bring an end to disease and suffering, so that all may know your compassion and your grace. Baruch atah Adonai, rofei chol basar umafli la'asot. Praised are you, God, healer of flesh and maker of wonders. O source of healing, cast the light of health and well-being on those who have been exposed to the coronavirus, and those who have contracted the disease, and those who, God forbid, will contract the disease in the future. Bless them, protect them, bring them speedily to a full recovery. Bless all who are ill with the healing of the body and the healing of the spirit. And let us all say, Amen. Ken Yehi Ratzon. Our concluding prayers, just say a quick word. Elena will be our next slide. Find at the top in the hardcover 283. Elena, which originates in antiquity as part of the Rosh Hashanah Shofar service, is a utopian vision of the future, a day, as the prophet Zechariah describes toward the end, when all the world will come to one accord, worship God in one name, and all the world will be at peace. We are not there yet. That is the vision that Elijah's cup represents, but it's our affirmation that human life brings us step by step by step closer. Sometimes a step back, but hopefully always more steps forward. So I invite those who are able to rise for Aleinu, page 283, or simply the next slide.
עלינו לשבח לדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לייחד את שמו, וגורלנו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
Next page.
שהוא נוטש שמיים ויוסד ארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינתו זו בגובה מרומים. הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו וזולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבבך, כי אדוני הוא אלוהים בשמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. היום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
Our thoughts turn to those whom we have lost in recent days or at this season in years past. You can find Mourner's Kaddish, hopefully, is the next slide, or in the prayer book on page 294. On this Shabbat Eve, we call to mind the following names Those who've passed in Shloshim in the last month, the last 30 days. Louis Gold is recalled by Ryan and Haley Geffman Gold, Milo, Ari, and Phoebe. Ruth Kaufman is recalled by Amy Kaufman, Robert Boyd, and Gabriel. Margaret Abraham is recalled by Anita and Rick Inns and Elliot and David. Robert Levinson is recalled by Leisha Ten Houten. Jonathan Jacob is recalled by Monica Elias and Roy Walter, Eric and Jason. Stephen Myers is recalled by Matthew Bloom. Seymour Orenstein is recalled by Karen Bloom. Artie Angstreich is recalled by Robin Muskin. Robin, I hope I've pronounced your dad's name correctly. I apologize if I've mispronounced it. And Howard Deckelbaum is remembered by Sharon Kosakoff. We also call to mind those whose yahrzeit, the anniversary of their death, falls at this season of the year. Ellen Cohen is recalled by Herb and Stephen Cohen. Isidore Kropsky is recalled by Gloria Dieter. Ruth Koretsky is recalled by Lana Koren. Philip Katz is recalled by Judy Wynn. Arnold Leo Lieberman is recalled by Maxine Rockoff. Andrew Unterberg is recalled by Jennifer and Eric Committee and the entire congregation. Julio Bukatinsky is recalled by Miriam Bukatinsky and the entire congregational community. Arthur Rissman is recalled by Steve Rissman. Elias Mann is recalled by Ronnie Mann. Joseph Lieb is recalled by Miriam Katowitz. Francis Kalman is recalled by Phyllis Starkman. James Burke Paley is recalled by Sandra Paley Brandt. Marion Kramer is recalled by Paul Kramer. Frank Nardiello is recalled by Janine Futterman. Francis Wolf is recalled by Andrew Wolf. Nathan Bornstein is recalled by Marilyn Dukoff. Lily Turner is recalled by Stephen Turner. And Rosalind Katz is recalled by Stephanie Teitelbaum. If I have inadvertently mispronounced any of these names or failed to share aloud the name of a loved one who you're thinking of at this season, I invite you to take this moment to share those names aloud. We sanctify their memories as we sanctify their names and sanctify God's name and pray for the coming of God's realm. The words of the mourner's Kaddish, page 294, or the next slide. We join together as a community. Yit Gadal, v'yit Kadash, Shemei Rabbah, B'alma divera chirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon, uv'yomechon, uv'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael, v'agala uv'izman kari v'imru, Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah, mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya, Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitaleh, v'yitalal, Shemei d'kudsha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiran v'yalma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shalama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu yasei shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. May the source of peace on high cause peace to descend upon us, all Israel, our entire world, and let us all say, Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al
ve'imeru. Amen. So some very brief announcements. Tomorrow morning, Chavurah will be led virtually on Zoom by Rabbi Daniel Lehrman. You can find the Zoom link at the website, www.bhsbrooklyn.org. You can also find the full schedule there for all the upcoming services. A reminder, First Seder is Wednesday evening. If you can't find everything, don't worry. It's not that important. What's important is that we have the opportunity to be connected with one another. So please do not worry if you cannot find every product or kosher for Passover product. It's simply a reminder that pikuach nefesh docheh, that the preservation of life and health supersedes. Please don't put yourself in a situation where you're running around trying to get things. If it's not immediately accessible, it will be just fine to do without. Another word on the first morning, that's Thursday morning. Cantor Porzakansky and Rabbi Sonia Pills will be leading a Zoom first morning festival service. Instead of it being on the live stream here on Thursday morning for that first day of Passover, it will be a Zoom link with the Cantor and Rabbi Pills, who is part of the leadership in our Chavurah. Shabbat will be regular for Shabbat Passover, although we'll get a little taste of Shir HaShirim, Song of Songs, which is the Megillah that's read on the Shabbat of Passover, and we'll have more information. I'll be leading Chavurah on that Shabbat of the intermediate days of Passover as well. And then for the seventh day of Passover, we will have live stream services. That's the following Tuesday at 6:30, and then the following Wednesday morning, 9:30 a.m. with Yisker, for those who'd like to say their Yisker prayers. There will also be something new at noon. That's a week from this Wednesday, from the day of First Seder, a week from then. There'll also be an opportunity. Cantor Porzakansky is offering at noons on Wednesday a music class, but that Wednesday, I believe it's April 15th at noon, she'll be offering an opportunity for a half hour of Yisker led on Zoom with her leading the music, which will be far more musical and capable than, unfortunately, I am capable of offering. So if you'd like just to have Yisker, perhaps at a later hour at noon on April 15th. Again, please double check all the dates and times on the website. That's the very best thing you can do. You can still be in touch with all of us through email. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have a need or a question. Miriam and I are going to try something. I don't know if it's going to work, but sometimes customarily we put in flavors of the holiday season in different places. Sometimes at Michamocha, which is probably what we should have done. But we're going to try it. We're going to try it on Adon Olam to the melody of Adir Hu, which some of us may have grown up with. God of might, God of right, to thee we give glory. Adir Hu, Adir Hu. So let's see if we can pull this off. If not, we'll go back to our regular melody.
Adon Olam asher malach b'terem kol yitzir nivra li'ed nasa v'chefzo kol azal melech shemo nikra v'acharei kichlot hakol levado yimlok nora v'hu haya v'hu hoveh והוא אחד ואין שני להמשיך לו להכבירה בלי ראשית בלי תכלית ולא העוז והמשרה והוא אלי וחי גואלי בצור כבלי מעץ והוא ניסי ומנוס לי מנת כוסי ביום אקרא בידו אבקיד רוחי והייתי שם ועירה ואם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא ואם רוחי גביעתי אדוני לי ולא יירא.
Not too terrible. Thank you, Miriam. We are going to make Kiddush. And hopefully you can find that on the final slide of the PDF if you have the prayer book, pages 4 and 5. The opening words of page 4 I don't think are on the PDF, but we will get there. ויער ויבוקר יום השישי, ויחולו השמיים והארץ וכל צבאם, ויכל אלוהים ביום השביעי מלאכתו אשר עשה, וישפוט ביום השביעי מכל מלאכתו אשר עשה, ויברך אלוהים את יום השביעי, ויקדש אותו, כי בו שבת מכל מלאכתו אשר ברא אלוהים לעשות. We raise up our cups. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratza banu, b'shabbat kodsho mi'ahava uvratzon hinkilanu, zikaron l'maaseh v'reishit, כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש, זכר לציון מצרים. כי בנו בחרת, ואותנו קידשת מכל העמים, בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו. ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת. אמן. לחיים. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. B'teavon. I forgot to mention, of course, the second night Zoom Seder that Cantor Porzekanski and I will be leading. You can also find that link on the website. It's a little early. It starts at 5:30 p.m. this coming Thursday, second night Zoom Seder. Please join in. There'll be a tremendous amount of singing, and we'll be distributing, as soon as I finish editing it, a PDF Haggadah to follow along with. Shabbat Shalom, everyone, and thank you so much for making our community come together.